his hockey sticks. We forgot his hockey sticks. Drove to Buffalo in the middle of the winter for a hockey tournament without his sticks. That was the moment that we realized we needed a different way of doing this. A different way, a better way of managing sports travel. With getting out of work early, picking the kids up from school, remembering confirmation numbers, remembering what the schedule is, getting everywhere on time, getting everything packed. There had to be a better way of doing it. So we created two things, a season tracker and a tournament planner. And this video, I'm going to show you both. If you are a sports parent, you need these.
So this is the Travel Sports Season Tracker. The important thing to note here is at the top, this title is completely editable. So you can change this to reference the season that you're in so that you can make a quick reference. So if I wanted to, I could just put 2026, 27 so that I know which season I'm talking about. You'll see quick links over here on the left. So this takes you to each of the individual sections of the season tracker. On the right are season goals. So you can just click into this, type whatever you'd like. It can be team oriented or athlete specific, whatever you'd like. The next section is the season dashboard. This just has basic information about coach contact, the team name, the league that you're in, etc. The season calendar is next. This starts in the default view. So each tournament or each weekend of games, you can add a new row, identify where you're going to be playing, what the dates are, and then eventually what the outcome is and the status. As you populate this table, if you click over into season calendar, it's going to show it to you on a calendar view so you can quickly get a sense of when you're going to be away, when you're going to be home, and what games you have coming up. The tournament tracker is the next section. This is a separate tracker for individual tournaments. This is available as a standalone tracker on our website, ReadySetFamilyTravel.com. If you get the season tracker, this is already embedded in the season tracker. So you'll get the tournament tracker along with the season tracker. But if you'd like, you can get the tournament tracker as a standalone template if you want to do that as well. So we're going to come back to this in a minute because I'm going to do a walkthrough of this tournament tracker so that you can see how that functions. But for now, let's move down to the season budget. So this, you have two different versions of the season budget. This is just a standard table where you can put in the tournament, the state, actual amount that you've spent, the amount that you budgeted, and it shows you the variance. Pretty straightforward, so you can just keep an eye on how much you're spending as you're traveling for sports. When you click into this widget, if you click the edit button, you can also add tournaments and expenses here. So if I wanted to add a new, let's just say there was a showcase tournament and we budgeted 2,000, we actually spent 1,500. If I click update chart, this will give you just kind of a running view of how you're doing for the season. And it'll also give you a nice visual breakdown of how you did tournament to tournament in terms of how much you've spent. So just a nice way to keep track of how much money you're spending as you're traveling around. The next section is season record and stats. So this is at the bottom here, there is some boxes where you can type in information about how many tournaments you completed and states that you visited, the most visited city. Of course, you can keep track of all of the tournaments and how you finished and notes that you have as you go through. This season summary card can be completed really at any point during the season. This one is an example of what might happen at the end of a season. So you type in your team name, sport and season. This is toggleable by win-loss sports or placement sports. So if you select a placement sport, these boxes down here will change to just a description of how you finished overall. But for win-loss sports, it'll allow you to record wins, losses, ties, how many tournaments you completed, states visited, miles traveled. You can type in as much or as little of this information as you'd like. When you click Generate Season Card, it'll give you this card that gives you a nice overview of kind of how you have done for the season. You can click this button and it'll be downloaded as a shareable image, so you can keep it, send it to people, share it on social media, whatever you'd like. The last section in the season tracker is season memories. So this has some prompts to type in some information, favorite memory of the season, best tournament weekend, a note to the athlete, unexpected highlights, the trip that nobody expected to love, just some ideas of ways to capture different memories. And then there is a page down here for season photos. So if you click in here, you can drop team photos, action shots, shots from the hotel or other fun things that you did, and just otherwise capture the season in review in photos. So going back to the season tracker, the part that we missed was the tournament tracker. So this, again, is an individual tracker for separate tournament weekends. And so if you click, you can fill this information out. So the city and state, the dates, how far you are from home, what the outcome was, what the status is, your total cost, so you can have all of that information at a glance. But if you click this open button, you'll see that it opens a new page. And this is a separate tracker just for the tournament weekend. Importantly, again, you can rename this whatever you'd like. So if I wanted to rename this the name of the tournament that we're going to, you'll see that it updates here so that you'll know exactly which tournament you're referring to. Scrolling down, let me make this full screen so it's easier to see. So we're in the tournament tracker. Again, it's set up the same way. There's quick links on the left to get you to the specific section of the tracker as quickly as possible. The first section here is a packing list. So this is just general athlete packing list. There are packing lists by sport. This is fully customizable. You can remove this, you can add to it. If you want to add to any of the lists, you can just go in, hit enter, and it'll add another checkbox. You can modify these however you'd like, but this is at least something to get you started for a packing list with an athlete, sports specific. And then let's not forget about siblings and spectators. And these are some of the most commonly forgotten items that will make the weekend more fun for those who are there to watch. The next section is tournament dashboard. So again, this is similar to the season dashboard. This has basic information about the tournament, the hotel where you're staying, the primary venue with a Google Maps link, the hotel checkout time. This is sort of the basic logistics information, including down here, tournament rules and the official scores link if your tournament is one that has any of that kind of information available online, so that you don't have to go hunting through your email or your respective sports app trying to find where that link is. Copy it in here once and then you know where it is. The game day schedule. So this is a widget that if you click into it, you can enter the details for your game times. So at the top here, if you've got a specific warm-up time before your game, so here I have 45 minutes is when we would warm up before the game. So you put in the date, the time of the game, and then warm-up time and arrival time will give you a little buffer before the warm-up time. These will calculate automatically based on the warm-up time that you give it at the top. Put in the opponent, the venue. If you have a link to Google Maps for the venue, you can put that in here and it'll give you the Google Map. Do that for each of the games, and then when you click timeline up here, it gives you this nice timeline view of your schedule so that you can see it at a quick reference. It tells you how much time there is in between games, who you're playing, the venue, what time you have to arrive, so that you can look at this and in a quick glance understand what your schedule looks like for the weekend. The next section is the host city guide. So this is the section before this talks about what the game times are. This is information all about what to do in between games and when you have downtime. So this is for capturing ideas for things to do or places to eat, information at the hotel for the pool or breakfast. You can put restaurants or whatever else that you want in here as you're figuring out what you're going to do during the downtime to keep everybody happy and busy. The budget tracker is the next section. Pretty straightforward. This has some built-in categories by default that are the most common ones for sports travel weekends. All you do is put in your estimated amount for each of those categories. And then down here is the expense log. So as you incur expenses for any of those categories over the weekend, you just add them here, put in the amount, select what category they go to, and you're going to see that this budget categories updates automatically. So if we spent $100 on a tournament hoodie and $650 on the hotel, you'll see that it's adding to the actual columns for those categories up here. So pretty straightforward. Down here is a meal split calculator. So if you're working in this template through the weekend and you've got it open because you're accessing all this information, this will be pretty handy. This is just, team meals are a big part of when we go on sports weekends. And so if you type in the total bill, the number of people at the table, what you want your tip to be, it's going to give you a per person amount. And then you can add how many people are in your family, and it gives you the exact total that you need to pay to cover your portion of the bill. And similar to the season tracker, the last portion here is the tournament recap and memories. So this is just capturing how you did in the tournament, what your best moment was, what the hardest moment was, some other prompts down here to just describe some of the memories, game results, so that you can keep track of those and remember those, put some notes in for how the games went or anything that happened during the games. And then, of course, a page here for tournament photos so that you can link any shared albums that your team might have or other photos that you just want to keep to remember the tournament by.
Both of these are available on our website, ReadySetFamilyTravel.com. So go check it out. We've got lots of travel resources for sports travel, other kinds of travel, vacations. So there's lots of information there. If you like this and found it helpful, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. And until next time, thanks very much and have fun traveling.